I thought it was time that we get back to the basics here on Black Bear Forge. It's no secret that I'm looking at doing bigger, more advanced projects, but all of those projects are built on a good foundation of basic or fundamental techniques. And if you are just now getting into blacksmithing, the basics is the place to start. And there is so much that is included as basic or fundamental blacksmithing that I think this is going to need to be a series of maybe 12, maybe more videos, maybe one every other week or every month, something like that. So this is going to progress over time, and we're going to cover different topics in each video. In today's video, I plan to just talk about basic tooling. What are the tools you actually need in the blacksmith shop? Now, a few years ago, we did a series about starting with a small budget, a $500 budget, and I found budget-friendly tools that you could buy: forge, anvil, some simple hammers, tongs, everything you needed to get started in that budget. And all of that information is still valid. But in this series, I want to talk less about what your budget might be. That's something that's individual for each person, and there are options and choices that fit anybody's budget. So I want to talk more about the general tools and the equipment you need, and include things not only for a limited budget, but also some choices if you have a little bit more expendable income right now and want to invest in some higher end tools. And while today we're just going to talk about general tools, the basic categories of tools you need, future videos will get into more detail on each of those tools. So while you need an anvil to be able to blacksmith, we'll talk more about different anvils that are available, what's available new, what you might look for in a used anvil, and all of those kind of things in a future video. And the same with forges and hammers and tongs, all of that. Without further ado, let's get into a pretty basic list of the tools that I think you need if you're just getting started on your blacksmithing journey. The more other tools you have to help support your efforts, the better off you're going to be. This is by no means a perfectly complete list, but it should be enough to get you started, even if you don't have any tools when you set out. Now, there's a common mindset that if you have forge, hammer, and anvil, you can make just about everything else you're going to need in blacksmithing. And I suppose if you have all the time in the world, that's probably true. So besides forge, hammer, and anvil, now when I say forge, I mean you need a heat source that will heat material to a forging temperature. We have looked at doing a little backyard forge, a hole in the ground with a hairdryer. We've elevated the dirt box style forge up on cinder blocks and used a little bit bigger blower, and all of that works. Those are all options if you're just getting started. And there are lots of propane forges out there. So those are all options. And even if you just have an oxy-fuel torch and you're doing small stuff, you can probably work with that. It gets kind of expensive, but it is doable. As far as an anvil goes, we have looked at small budget-friendly anvils. We've looked at using an old sledgehammer head for an anvil. People use chunks of railroad track, all sorts of things that will function as your first anvil. You don't have to go out and invest in a big anvil, but it probably won't be long before you wish you had a more conventional anvil. Pretty much from day one, you're going to wish you had some way to cut material. The anvil has maybe a sharp edge on it somewhere, and you might be able to weaken material enough that you can bend it back and forth and cut it. But really, you need something else to cut material. And even if you're just making your first chisel, so you can use the chisel to cut material, you're going to need to cut the material for the chisel. One of the most basic tools in the blacksmith's arsenal for cutting is a cut-off hardy. This goes in the square hole of your anvil, if your anvil has a square hole, and you can cut material off on this. This is a little bit cold, but you just hammer down on the material and you can cut material off on the hardy. You can even have cold cut hardies if you're cutting cold material. Kind of a limit to how big a material you want to cut cold, but you can cut some pretty big stuff hot. There are handheld chisels and there are handled chisels, so your hand stays away from the heat and away from the hammer. All good options for cutting material. But I think in short order, you're going to wish you had a hacksaw. So forge, hammer, anvil, and at least a hacksaw for rough cutting cold material before you start forging is really going to go a long way. If you're going to use a hacksaw, you're probably also going to need some way to hold that material, and for that, some sort of a simple vise. There are lots of affordable vices out there, lots of antique vices out there. The leg vise is the classic vise in the blacksmith shop, but if you're just cutting, a regular bench vise is going to work just fine, and it doesn't have to be a real big one. When we did that budget-friendly blacksmithing video, I was using a little 3-inch vise mounted to a really wobbly workbench, and it got the job done. So you don't have to stress out too much, but I really do think you're going to want a hacksaw. The better the hacksaw frame and the higher quality of the blades, the happier you're going to be with it. It's not going to be too long before you need to file a burr off of a piece or clean up a cold shut that's starting to form. We'll talk more about cold shuts in a future video, but sooner or later you're going to need some files. At least one 10-inch half-round file is a good place to start, but you'll probably want an assortment, a couple of different coarsenesses of file. You want a coarse file and a fine file. You want flat files, round, triangular. And you can frequently buy these as some sort of a set. Hopefully they even come with handles. If not, make sure you put some kind of a handle in your file so you don't jam your hand into the tang of the file while you're working with it. No matter what you're using for a fuel source, you're going to need to way to light that. I like using a little handheld propane torch, but you can use matches in a ball of paper, kindling wood, something like that, especially for a solid fuel fire. But you can light a little ball of paper on fire with a match, set that inside a propane forge, then turn the gas on, and that works just fine as well. So there's lots of options, but you're going to need some way to start the fire so you can actually work. And it won't be long before you need a way to hold material. It's nice to be able to work on a long bar, but a lot of what you're going to be working on isn't going to stay long. You're going to cut a piece off because you're making a little bottle opener or something like that. Or if you're into knives, knives generally are not long enough to handhold while you're forging them. You're going to need tongs, and you're going to need an assortment of tongs. Every style of tongs is meant to do one thing really well. Some of them will do a few things pretty well, but if you start getting out of whatever their strength is, you're going to start having problems. So you're going to need some V-bit tongs, some flat jaw tongs, some pickup tongs. Wolf jaw tongs aren't too bad an all-purpose tong, but they're also not a great all-purpose tong. Anything that's meant to be all-purpose is never going to perform as well as something like this V-bit set of tongs that's made to hold 3/4 inch bar, and it holds 3/4 inch bar extremely well. You can buy tongs from a number of sources. You can buy old tongs. A lot of times they're kind of wore out. You might have to repair them. But all of the blacksmithing suppliers have some sort of new tongs that you can buy. And it's not a bad idea to buy a few pair of tongs to get started. And of course, to some limited extent, you can use vice grips and pliers. They seem like a good idea, but they never work out quite as well as you would like them to. So you're going to want regular forging tongs. And of course, as we move on with this, we're going to look at making tongs, or you can look at my past library of videos, and I've got quite a few videos on making tongs. But we will include that topic in this series of basic videos. And for a hammer, if you're not used to swinging a hammer, you might only want a 1.5 or 2 pound hammer. If you're used to swinging a hammer all the time, 2.5 pounds is good. If you're really feeling strong, maybe a 3 pound hammer. But don't start with too heavy a hammer. You might cause yourself some elbow injuries, wrist injuries, and those things take a long time to recover from. So you don't want to set yourself up for failure. Start with a lighter hammer, work in smaller bar stock, make simpler projects to start with. Then as your strength improves, work up to a larger hammer. The classic hammer, at least here in the US, is a cross-peen hammer, and it's really a good place to start. I don't think you'll ever have any problems with that. You can do 90% of the work you want to do with one good cross-peen hammer. I like having some smaller ball peen hammers. They come in handy for things, but in other parts of the world, a 2 or 3 pound ball peen hammer is their main hammer, and they supplement with a cross peen. So it's really kind of a personal preference. Then of course you get into straight peen hammers, diagonal peen hammers. And again, we'll talk about all of that stuff as this series progresses. I don't want to give you too much information today, just enough to get started with. Now, just like everything else, we'll get more into safety in a future video, but the basics are you should wear non-synthetic clothing, something that isn't going to burn or melt. If you get something hot, you'd rather scorch your shirt or your pants than melt it to your skin. So try to stay away from synthetic clothing. Good, solid, sturdy shoes, steel toes or composite toes are ideal, and some sort of eyewear that's going to stop things that are headed for your face. All sorts of safety glasses out there on the market, but you can wear goggles or a face shield if you would prefer to do that. And depending on how bad your anvil rings or what other noise you're making, you're going to want some sort of ear protection, either good earplugs or a pair of earmuffs, something that's meant to protect your hearing. Just putting your ear pods in and listening to music may not be something that protects your hearing. Although I do have earmuffs that are hearing protection that have speakers in them, so I can listen to music while I work. So a quick review of the things I think you're going to need to get started. Forge, hammer, anvil, a vise of some sort, a hacksaw, a couple of files, some way to light the fire. Hearing protection and eye protection are an absolute minimum before you take a hammer to hot steel for the first time. I think in the next video in this series, we'll look at the first fundamental, which would be drawing out steel. That's probably the one skill you will use the most as a blacksmith. But then as we go on, we'll kind of go back and forth between forging skills and looking at some of these tools in more detail and why one hammer might be better than another hammer, or why V-bit tongs are different than bolt jaw tongs or different than flat jaw tongs. All of these kind of deserve their own video, and I'll try to keep these videos from being too long and too wordy. So I think this is a good point to end the video. I want to thank you for stopping by to watch the video. Thank you to my channel members and my Patreon patrons for supporting the channel. Channel members receive early access to the videos. Patreon patrons not only receive early access, but they get to watch the videos without any of those annoying ads that you usually see here on YouTube. In the meantime, I hope you have time in your day to get out to your shop, make something, stay safe, wear your safety glasses. We'll see you for the next video.